To create the cost sheet, I'm going to add a sheet, move it all the way to the end, and name it cost sheet. This is where I'll do the workup and all the math to actually figure out how much my design would cost. Now, I've done an example of this already, so to save time of you watching me type, I'm just going to hit paste right now. And you'll see what I've done is I made an item column where I listed the individual items, the 8-foot 2x4s, 1/4-inch plywood, 3/4-inch plywood. And I also figured out how many of each I need. On my 2x4 worksheet, you'll notice I take up 12 rows to cut all my pieces. That means since I have no header row, I need 12 2x4s. That is now in my cost sheet. In my 1/4-inch plywood, I have the value of 2 because I ended up with pieces on 2 of the sheets. I'm not going to zoom in and out right now. You've seen that in a previous video. I also looked at my 3/4-inch one and needed only 1 sheet to cut all my pieces. So I have all of those numbers filled in. I've also gone to the website for Home Depot and found the individual pieces and put their costs here. If you need assistance with that, let me know. Now you'll notice mine all have dollar signs. To make mine look like yours the way when you first type them, I'm going to click this column and undo that because you are going to end up typing them in without numbers. Without that. But what you should be able to do is highlight the whole column and click the format as currency or the dollar sign right there. Now what we're going to do is in the column D, we're going to create a line total. To do that, we will multiply, so we got to start with an equals, this, the quantity I need, times, which is using the star, shift 8, the cost. And then I will hit enter. And that will give me the cost for those. And I'm going to fill those down, leaving a couple of empty rows around row 9 or 10. I'm going to highlight all the way across. And under borders, I'm going to click a top border. Just above the top border, I'm going to make one that's called fasteners / glue, quantity of 1. What we're going to do is I'm going to use about 10% of my cost so far as my estimate for that. I'm going to highlight all of these right here. Or I'm sorry, I'm going to hit equals, sum, open my parentheses, highlight this. Do not highlight its own total, or row 9 in my case, but just down to row 8. And then I'm going to close the parentheses, add those up, and at the end, I will then push times 0.1 to get 10% of that. I'm going to fill this down. And in this one right here, I want the entire total. So I will again do equals, sum, open the parentheses, and highlight all of the numbers above it. Close my parentheses, and that is my overall total, which I will label right here in all capital letters. This is how I do my cost sheet. This is the final sheet in my spreadsheet.